Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Spin Through Podcast. Going right in, U.S. hits crypto buying service Payza with money laundering lawsuit. So the owner of Payza was arrested because the company was apparently facilitating money laundering schemes for Ponzi schemes and child pornography websites, in addition to other criminal enterprises. So it goes to show you that the U.S. government is watching very hard for these kind of criminal enterprises on the crypto sphere, and they will definitely be paying close attention to any confirmed criminal connection public keys. Washington State County moves to limit new Bitcoin mining firms. So this is starting to happen more and more now. A lot of crypto people have brushed off this kind of thing and said the high electricity that is used to take care of the network is irrelevant, and the typical discussion usually revolves around the environment. However, now the main driver of places banning crypto mining firms is it's not beneficial for the locals to host. The locals get very little economic incentive for hosting them. Not a lot of jobs are created, and the taxes are probably negligible compared to the energy draw the operation takes. So people should be wondering what kind of legislation will occur once Bitcoin's electricity use gets even bigger. A question of, will there be a heavy tax and an intense centralization of mining? Because people are going to move to get rid of these mining firms if their local area isn't benefiting, or if it's drawing way too much electricity. And that's really actually where the conversation should start heading, instead of focusing on the environmental aspect completely. Coinbase bugs allow users to steal unlimited Ethereum. The wallet paid, the bounty for it paid $10,000 for discovery. So this is all because of smart contracts. There's a smart contract that you use to distribute Ethereum over a set of wallets and manipulate your account balance. But it was found before exploited, so that's good. The smart contracts should be regularly audited by different groups to prevent things like this. And I know people have been lauding smart contracts as something amazing, but as you can see, it does pose major risk if it's poorly made. 15-year-old hacks hardware crypto wallet ledger. So a kid discovered some major flaws in the ledger, and there was a big fuss. And the main drama here was the team didn't feel like it was the biggest problem as the kid made it out to be. But there's a fix out now for it. And you can probably thank the dust the kid kicked up to expedite how fast it was fixed. So there's still vulnerabilities with the ledger, but it's not really a big deal unless they physically have your computer, or you're just wantonly plugging in your ledger into everyone else's computer. So just keep basic security rules, and you won't find that much trouble. U.S. could put crypto wallets on the OFAC sanction list. This is mainly to hit the petro and prevent it from hitting major exchanges, but this could also affect any confirmed criminal public keys, like I said above. In the end, probably not on this specific list, but on something similar to this. And this could push kind of the draw to decentralized exchanges as governments try to shut out specific actors from the space. And the decentralized exchange is offering kind of a loophole or a workaround to obviously all the major exchanges going along with the governments. But we'll have to see. Sometimes decentralized exchanges aren't as anonymous as you think, and actually makes it easier to detect who's who, just because more individualized, easier to pick out the individualized transactions going to and from, rather than it getting batched in with an exchange movement, like the movement of exchange wallet. But there's a lot of privacy related things that will have to be kind of addressed in the future as more governments start to show how obviously they're watching and monitoring such child abuse content on the Bitcoin blockchain. Can node operators be prosecuted? So this is kind of bouncing off what was reported last week about how there was links to these websites on sent through the blockchain. The real important thing here is the legal ambiguity of if you're liable because the data is passing through your node. So even if sharing these things it was provably not widespread, there's still potential that you could get in trouble for facilitating it, especially if you're American, and because these last two bills that were just passed very recently that were involved with sex trafficking, you could most likely face major penalties for if something like this passed through your node, even if you weren't knowingly facilitating these transactions. And the legality that was just established with these last two bills are questionable in their effectiveness and could potentially harm any U.S. nodes that are using Bitcoin. But considering this problem was very small and it was not really widespread thing, as long as it stays like that, not too many people should be having these troubles with governments. Well, the U.S. government, even if they aren't really purposely facilitating any kind of illegal activity like that. But it's something to really think about and consider for the future, just in case it does become a more widespread thing. Because you're in danger if you run a node, potentially. Blockchain remittance face efficiency hurdles, says Taiwan Central Bank. So there's a blockchain test for their remittance, and it was 100 times slower than their current system. And considering it was less than 30 transactions per second, it was probably using something similar to proof of work. They said they're not giving up on their blockchain research and will be continuing to investigate this new technology for their clearinghouse system. And two other points that they had to deal with was information leaks and node malfunctions. And node malfunction specifically may not be that easy to deal with. So it's also worth noting that the bank head thinks that Bitcoin is a bubble because people have strayed from its payment origin to use it as a speculative vehicle. Binance received formal warning from Japan and plans to move office to Malta, not exactly correlated as the article implies, well, headline implies. But the Japanese regulatory body sent Binance a formal warning because they aren't registered on their little new regulatory registry to operate in Japan. And that's really all the regulators wanted. And other kind of related news, Binance seems like it will settle into Malta because their pro-crypto attitude and how willing Malta is to work with them. Also for them to look at setting up bank partnerships, which will most likely lead into Binance adding actual US dollar and euros and all the other fiat options. Yahoo Japan is launching a cryptocurrency exchange, local report. So, major Japanese exchanges everywhere been hopping on the kind of crypto train for a while now, and that's just one more addition. And hopefully institutions will institutional adoption will help the market get out of this slump. But be aware that with this coming institutional adoption, we may see the mother of all bubbles occur as massive amounts of money gets poured in from the outside the crypto space. Enterprises building blockchain confront early tech limitations. So the ideological drive behind Bitcoin is finding no bearing at the corporate world, and you may see open sourced public ledgers and proof of work fly out the window completely. And I mean, we're already seeing proof of work fly out already in just the crypto space, and even public ledgers are kind of declining in some cases. But enterprise use is still far from being widespread, and this kind of recent conference basically let know that a lot of projects that have existed for a couple years don't exist anymore. They just failed off, and now people are really just starting to understand what kind of limits the technology have and what is actually applicable to, instead of just falling for the blockchain everything kind of trap that isn't necessary. And finally, to end this shorter episode, South Korean investors to buy crypto exchange Bitstamp for $400 million, source reports. So Bitstamp might find itself new owners. No official parties have commented on this, but it's worth being aware of because the potential management shift could affect Binance more than you think. Who knows how much these investors are going to shake up Bitstamp, or are they just buying it for other reasons? Kind of to expand into Korea, since they're Korean investors, I don't know. But just be aware, Bitstamp might change some now that it has new ownership, and hopefully it won't change it that much. It was one of the better exchanges with lower fees, but more alternatives are luckily popping up, so we're no longer in a place where we have to depend on Bitstamp. And that'll be it. Tune in Thursday for the next episode, and I'll see you.